Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you DPP Revival Invitational 2 play-ins. This is a time bracket round 1 matchup between Big Will and Sam, going by King of Gloom. So both these players rep in the Midwest, to my knowledge, but Big Will, he was he's narrated a couple of times on the AV Revival channel, and he played in our play-ins last year, so he's really made a lot of strides as a player over the last like 12 months or so, give or take. Whereas Sam, he's like PC's boy. He also was a manager on the Cryacos, who were in SPL finals this year. So but Sam's a long-time player. Whereas for Big Will, I think Big Will's been a little bit more active, a little bit more in form, but always good to see like a regional in-house throwdown between two guys who know each other fairly well, from what I can tell. But regardless, though, enough said. Though, let's actually jump right in. So we got Azelf lead into a Swampert lead. So Azelf in the part is definitely not enjoying this. Azelf could boom or get rocks up, taunt. There's a bunch of things he can do here. Just gonna explode right off the bat here. That part's gonna be taken out of the equation, but it's gonna be a follow-up. So yeah, Sam off to a bad start right now, and there's a Skarmory. Rocks are gonna go up here. What's the follow-up going to be? Going to be Infernape into this Skarm, and that Skarm is just gonna be taken out with Overheat. A bit of a surprising choice for Sam to stay in there. Sam might have probably not gone Laddie if he has that, probably fearing a U-turn into a pursuit trap, so that might have been what was going on there, but that might be E-Belt. And yep, there's the Laddie. How's he gonna follow up? There's the Rotom, going to try and draw out the Metagross. Gets exactly what he's looking for here, but T-Tar's got to come in for Will, and just going to get tricked. But Rain Dance is here. Interesting. So there's probably a Kingdra in the back. Up there's the Kingdra. And Kingdra's got to threaten a huge Hydro Pump into whatever comes in. And Will's just going to sacrifice the Infernape, so might probably have something like a Laddie or whatnot to take care of this. But just got Superpower here, and interesting, trying to cover the T-Tar switch. And that's just going to go down real early. However, this Kingdra, as long as it has health. However, it can only come in 2 more times, which is going to be a bit of a headache. There's the Agility. Big Will should have this game actually wrapped up, barring this being like Scarf Latias, but it's probably Specs Laddie, so like all Will has to do is just sub up multiple times, and then this game should be a wrap. Yep, there's a sub. It's sub Pataya. Nothing too crazy here. The only way Sam gets out of this is if it was, somehow Pashleberry into a Surf, and it had a bunch of Spadef invest, but Torrent boosted. I mean, it's effectively +2, so that's a bit of a tall task, needless to say. This might be a CB tar based on how Sam's been playing this, and that's just gonna go down. And Latias question is this faster? Nope. Will should have this game 1 wrapped up, and yeah, Sam's just not gonna bother playing this out. So dominant showing from Big Will, and I suspect Will's last was probably a Latias, perhaps, like maybe a Scarf Laddie, because I see this team. I think the biggest issue of this team would be, like the Dragon Dancers matchup. Like, yeah, maybe Will's Metagross has something like a Resist Berry, maybe a Shuka Berry, or something like that. Probably a Shuka Berry would make a ton of sense here, in my opinion. But because like your fire matchups, it's like, T-Tar can take a blow, Latias obviously and whatnot, but yeah, so Will's boom offense team, or like CBA's elf team, a pretty cool take. Whereas for Sam's I mean, having Skarm with like Laddie Kingdra is an interesting take. I don't think I've really seen much of that in DPP in general, but needless to say, though, I'm curious to see how this game 2 is going to turn out. Just gotta swap views for continuity. Let's jump right in. So there's the Azelf lead. So Sam with the Azelf lead this time, whereas for Will, now this could either be Spextran or something like Sashpran. But if I'm Sam here, if you're taunt Azelf, I mean, this might be like an Azelf HO. I know PC loves running like an Empoleon based HO with Azelf, so maybe you might pass something like that to Sam, but we'll find out soon enough. Just go U-turn instead into a Suicune, and Suicune should look to put some immediate pressure here. Got Stealth Rocks up here, so that is a modest Suicune, and that Heatran has got Threaten to Boom, so Sam better have something for this. And going to use his own Heatran as a Boom Absorber, but that Heatran's going to be severely weakened, and that Infernape going to just temporarily CC, but Shadow Ball is usually not going to kill from this range, so gonna have to play around fire moves. And there's the Overheat, but you're still in a bit of trouble here. I don't think this is sustainable for Sam. Now you could try to go into Suicune or something to try and get around that. I really don't. Oh, this might be Custap. Gets the rocks off, and oh man, if Will had, okay, Will probably should have known something was going on here. Now Will might have not have Mach Punch. If he had Mach Punch, he absolutely should have clicked it there, but we'll never know. At least as of right now, but this Gengar going to obviously threaten the KO with Shadow Ball after that drop. And yeah, really nice work from Sam to get those Stealth Rocks up, and Will-O-Wisp there, so getting a ton of mileage. I don't know about that pursuit there, Will. I think Will really needed to Bullet Punch there, although I get like wanting to get rid of the Suicune, but like for Sam, there's no reason for him not to try and Will-O-Wisp, because Gengar usually at least has a reasonable chance to live a Bullet Punch from that health range. But we'll see what happens here. Yeah, that Scizor is just gonna go down. I think Will just probably got a little bit too hasty with that. But Suicune's gonna show up here and going to probably try and block the Shard attempt. But now this Suicune's going to directly threaten this Donphan with a Hydro Pump. So, you know, Will is off to a bad start right now. Hydro Pump only doing 22%. Gonna have to be careful with Draco Meteor here. But instead, just got Thunderbolt. And that Laddie is going to take a significant amount of damage. And Flygon's gonna show up here to try and block that T-Bolt. That is probably Scarf Laddie. And there's the Infernape. U-turns there, and Gengar looking to be a threat once more, and it can come back in to the fold here. And oh, so Will's just going to get a 1-for-1 here, just gonna get a trade, and that might have been a roll, we'll never know. But this Azelf should look to explode now. Gotta get rid of the Gyarados, so yeah, Will didn't have much of a choice. And that Suicune there, now it's gonna show up, and now it's gonna be a threat to this Donphan. Even Ice Beam's gonna do a lot. Oh, just gonna get a huge miss though. So Will has pulled himself right back into the game there. I think you should just got surf there. Okay, sure. I think Sam really should have just taken this Ice Beam. Just take the damage, dog. And then just spam Ice Beam again. There's the Draco. And yep, there's the Ice Beam. So Sam's gonna take this game too. So a bit of a messy game too, and it's been a real fast-paced series so far between Big Will and Sam. Unfortunately, one of these guys is gonna have to go home, and whoever wins this set is going to go on to face either Loliolate or Manchu for the next round. So that's gonna be real interesting to witness. However, that being said though, you know, I think for Will, hey, I think one, he already had a very uphill battle, like, you know, red spam into, you know, like kind of sort of, well, not really blue spam, but not quite, but like, yeah, just like double water was like, you know, not really ideal. But I think the Scizor trying to pursue the Gengar there, I think might have been a little bit reckless there. I get it, you're behind, I get why he's going for that. I don't know if that was 100% the best move for Will, but you know, good job from Sam, you know, kind of establishing his advantage early on, and until near the end, just never really letting up. But needless to say though, we got a game free rubber match here. Whoever loses is gonna be sent home. Winner's gonna face the winner of Manchu versus Loliolate, if you haven't checked that series out on YouTube. And anyways, a Zapdos and Suicune straight into a Tyranitar. And this Tyranitar got instantly threatened to Zapdos. What's Sam gonna do here? Oh, Rhyperior. This might be This might be that fakes paraspam. Nice double back from Will. I suspect there's probably a Celebi and a Starmie in the back for, and then a Jirachi plus CB Tar, because you want Rhyperior with T-Tar normally, but this Zapdos is, in fact, it might not be faster, but... Oh, huge freeze, though. That is not what Sam wants to see early on in this game, and if his last are what I think it is, then he is in huge trouble. There's the T-Tar. I mean, it can take one Surf, but Stone Edge is going to at least kill that for now, but... Man, you are already hella behind. Oh no, it's actually Scizor instead. So this might be Zap Me, Sizz. But huge Stealth Rocks there. EQ. It could have been HP Fire. I know that's been kind of a newer thing that we've seen circulating a little bit. Okay, there's a Celebi. I think the last has to be Starmie, because usually that's used... Oh, I see what's going on here. That's used to replace... the Scizor is replacing the Jirachi on this Paraspam team, and Starmie's going to... Yep, there's the last. That's going to go down. Sam just kind of sacking that, realizing that he just wants a clean entry point. And this Rhyperior might look to get a substitute up. But no, just got EQ instead. And it is lefties, but this Latias got to threaten the Surf. And Tyranitar's got to be sacked off. Whew, I mean, interesting team though from... Interesting take, like having Sizz over Jirachi, but I guess like a second win condition could be cool. Anyways, nice U-turn there and into Rhyperior. However, you have to be careful getting tricked. That's probably the last thing you want to have happen. Got Protect here. Oh, Protect's actually a really nice touch on Rhyperior because it's a super cool way to actually scout out choice attackers. That's a moveset choice I like on Rye a fair bit, but Scizor is going to be a trick absorber of choice. No pun intended. There's the Overheat. I think if I was Sam, I probably would have swapped right back into Rhyperior, but alas, some things are just not meant to be. Oh, that's a huge crit. That is actually not what Sam wanted to see there. That's actually really bad. Yeah, Protect there, ensure you can get another sub up, and then hopefully you get a low roll. Otherwise, this game is as good as done right now. Gets the roll he's looking for. There's the Ice Punch. And the last year is Latias, so you gotta drop this. Ooh. This might be a problem though, because Sam could get another sub up with Rhyperior, but really your first priority is making sure that sub actually breaks if you're Big Will. Now this might be Specs Lati though, that said, and that might be able to at least break the sub up. Oh, just got Healing Wish instead into a Lucario. If this is Shukaberry Lucario, then Big Will can actually get out of this pretty cleanly. It is, and that's gonna do it. Actually survives on 2% health. And Big Will's going to move on to the next round of Time Bracket, and he's gonna win this series 2-1. Really unfortunate for Sam, especially because I think, you know, seeing how this matchup played out, I mean, a couple things just didn't quite go his way. The Zapdos just getting frozen early on, although that Suicune being Lumberry probably didn't help matters, but I think regardless of what could have happened there, I think Sam could have at least gotten a significant amount of chip damage on that Suicune, and then that way, you know, for example, maybe you could put it right in range of something like a Starmie Surf or whatnot, and then like maybe even Protect with Rhyperior and get it out of there with Starmie. But Will also in the early game did a fantastic job positioning himself, getting himself into position with the Suicune to Calm Mind up and forcing the Rhyperior out early on, especially on turn 3. But that was just brutal way for Sam to go, especially on 2% effectively. So this game 3 really could have gone either way, but you know, good stuff from Will being able to get that Healing Wish off and actually bluffing the fact that he was choice locked. So that was probably you know, Draco Meteor, Thunderbolt, Healing Wish or something along those lines. But man, brutal work. Yeah, I mean, tough day at the office if you're Sam, and Thank you for playing, Sam, but Will's gonna move on again. He's got face the winner of Monchi versus Leole, and you know, check that video out, as I said before, if you haven't already. Playlist will be linked in the description below. Anyways, that being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to DPP Revival Invitational 2's prize pool, and I will see you guys next time.